Here's a list
Nice,
of
that's a fun
villains.
constraint. Here's a clean 10 villain lineup, clearly tiered, with short but meaty bios. A-listers, top-tier threats. Big brains, big bodies, or big ideologies. These are world-class problems for Batman. 1. Bane. A tactical genius wrapped in raw power, Bane is the man who broke the Bat. Raised in a hellish prison, he combines military strategy with superhuman strength via venom. Unlike most brutes, Bane studies Batman obsessively and attacks him psychologically as much as physically. 2. Ra's al Ghul. An immortal eco-terrorist, philosopher, and leader of the League of Assassins. Ra's sees Batman as both a worthy heir and an obstacle to his vision of a cleansed world. His centuries of life give him unmatched perspective, resources, and patience, and he plays the long game better than almost anyone. And 3. The Riddler, Nijma. A criminal mastermind driven by compulsive arrogance and a desperate need to prove he's the smartest person in the room. Riddler's obsession with puzzles is both his greatest weapon and fatal flaw. He can't resist leaving clues, even when it costs him victory. Metaphor, Mr. Freeze, Victor Freeze. A tragic figure whose crimes are motivated by love rather than greed or chaos. Freeze's world literally froze the day his wife Nora fell ill, and everything he does is in service of saving her. His cold-themed tech and emotional detachment make him both deadly and heartbreaking. B-listers, major Gotham players, not always world-ending, but absolutely capable of wrecking Gotham. 5. Killer Croc, Waylon Jones. A brutal enforcer with a genetic condition that gives him reptilian features and immense strength. Often underestimated as a mindless monster, Croc is a survivor first and foremost, one shaped by cruelty, isolation, and the sewer-level underbelly of Gotham. 6. Black Mask, Roman Sionis. A sadistic mob boss who wears a skull-like mask and thrives on control and humiliation. Unlike flashy rogues, Black Mask represents Gotham's organized crime at its most vicious. Torture, extortion, and fear are his preferred tools. 7. Mad Hatter, Jervis Tetch. A mind control specialist obsessed with Alice in Wonderland. Beneath the whimsical aesthetic is a deeply disturbing criminal who strips people of free will. His tech turns civilians into puppets, making him especially dangerous despite his fragile mental state. 8. Deadshot, Floyd Lawton. The world's greatest assassin and a man who believes he deserves to die, but on his own terms. Cold, precise, and brutally honest, Deadshot is motivated by money, self-loathing, and a twisted sense of professionalism. When he's involved, someone important is usually going to bleed. C-lister, niche but creepy. Limited scope, strong concept. 9. Calendar Man. A serial killer whose crimes are themed around dates, holidays, and the passage of time. Often mocked by other villains, Calendar Man is at his most terrifying when treated seriously, especially when he leans into long-term planning and psychological horror. D-lister. Cult favorite joke villain. Low threat, high meme value. Hopper 10. Condiment King. A former nobody turned absurd criminal armed with ketchup and mustard guns. Completely ridiculous, often incompetent, and usually used for comic relief. But he perfectly represents how bizarre Gotham's criminal ecosystem can get. If you want, I can. Swap tiers around, some villains just miss A-list status. Rewrite these bios darker, funnier, or more cinematic, or build a custom rogues gallery for a specific Batman era or story. Got it. I'll split this cleanly into 3 parts, each with character bios, and keep the tone respectful to their canon while still readable and lively. Part 1. Pokemon bios. Pikachu. Pikachu is an electric-type Pokemon known for its boundless energy, loyalty, and surprising combat prowess. Small in stature but huge in impact, Pikachu channels electricity through its cheek pouches, unleashing powerful attacks like Thunderbolt. Beyond battle, Pikachu is deeply emotional and forms strong bonds with its trainer, often acting on instinct and heart rather than strategy alone. Its courage consistently outweighs its size. Espeon. Espeon is a psychic-type Pokemon that embodies intelligence, grace, and foresight. Using its heightened psychic abilities, Espeon can read subtle changes in the environment and even glimpse possible futures. Calm and elegant, it prefers precision over brute force and is fiercely loyal to trainers it trusts. The gem on its forehead enhances its psychic power, making it a formidable and composed combatant. Charizard. Charizard is a fire flash flying type Pokemon fueled by pride, power, and raw intensity. Known for its blazing flames and aerial dominance, Charizard thrives in battle and respects only strong opponents. While it can be stubborn and headstrong, Charizard is deeply loyal once it acknowledges its trainer's strength. Its fiery breath grows hotter with rage, making it one of the most intimidating Pokemon in combat. Jigglypuff? Jigglypuff is a normal fairy-type Pokemon with a deceptively cute appearance and a famously dangerous lullaby. When it sings, nearly anyone who hears it falls asleep instantly. Sensitive and easily offended, Jigglypuff reacts strongly to being ignored, often retaliating in humorous but persistent ways. Despite this, it craves attention and connection, making it both endearing and unpredictable. Ponyta is a fire-type Pokemon, known for its speed, elegance, and fiery mane. At first glance, its flames appear intimidating, but they do not harm those Ponyta trusts. Agile and swift, Ponyta excels in races and hit-and-run tactics during battle. Its fiery spirit reflects a strong will and an untamed love of freedom. Chap Part 2. Belldandy. Belldandy is a kind-hearted and gentle goddess who embodies compassion, patience, and unconditional love. Despite her divine power, she approaches the world with humility and warmth, always choosing empathy over judgment. Belldandy's magic is immense, yet she prefers solving problems through understanding rather than force. Her presence alone has a calming effect on those around her, making her both a powerful deity and a deeply human figure at heart. Izuku Midoriya. Izuku Midoriya, also known as Deku, is a determined and analytical hero in training, driven by an unwavering desire to save others. Born quirkless in a world where powers define status, Izuku's journey is shaped by perseverance, self-sacrifice, and relentless self-improvement. Inheriting the power of One for All, he combines raw strength with careful observation and strategic thinking. His greatest strength lies not in his power, but in his compassion and refusal to give up, even when the odds are overwhelming. If you want, I can rewrite these in a darker, more epic, or slice-of-life tone. Here are clean, character-focused bios with a slightly heroic tone, staying close to canon where possible and flexible where details are lighter. Izuku Midoriya is a determined and compassionate hero who rose from being born quirkless in a superpowered society to becoming the successor of One for All. Known for his sharp analytical mind, Izuku studies heroes obsessively, breaking down their strengths and weaknesses to improve his own abilities. Though initially lacking confidence, his overwhelming desire to save others pushes him beyond his limits again and again. What truly defines Izuku is his empathy. He reaches out to allies and enemies alike, believing that understanding and kindness can be as powerful as strength. Inko Midoriya. Inko Midoriya is Izuku's loving and supportive mother, whose gentle nature hides a deep well of emotional strength. Possessing a minor telekinetic quirk that allows her to pull small objects toward herself, Inko lives a quiet life focused on her son's well-being. She struggles with guilt over Izuku's hardships, but never stops believing in his dreams. Her warmth, encouragement, and unconditional love serve as Izuku's emotional foundation and one of his greatest sources of strength. Airjet. Airjet is a professional hero known for high-speed aerial combat and rapid response rescue missions. Utilizing a flight-based quirk that allows controlled jet-like propulsion through compressed air, Airjet excels in mobility, pursuit, and evacuation operations. Calm under pressure and highly disciplined, Airjet often works in disaster zones where speed and precision save lives. While not as publicly flashy as top-ranked heroes, Airjet's reliability and tactical awareness make them a trusted presence among both civilians and fellow heroes. If you want, I can make Airjet more grounded, flashier, or villain-adjacent.
Where's my remote at, Chris? Whoa. Chris.
Should be back here. Hello. Found it.
Brad.
There you go.
Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome.
Oh,
It was in you guys'
God. Here,
bedroom.
do me a favor.
Yeah.
Here, here. I do these shoes for me, please. Oh, there you go. Oh, my feet hurt, buddy. Oh, the 3:30. Okay.
There's that one.
Ouch. Oh, if I can get it. Ouch. Okay. There we go. Is that?
Mm-hmm.
Where's it at?
Right. There we go.
Oh,
You just put it right underneath there.
thank you.
You're
Oh
welcome.
gosh, buddy, my feet hurt. Oh.
There's... Yep, that. Nope, almost. That. There we go. There's that one.
Hold on. Help me out. Ah,
Oh.
come on. Hold the top, no, the bottom, the bottom,
The bottom?
the bottom, yeah. Oh, there we go. Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
All right, will you help me out here then? Ah,
Mm-hmm.
fuck, that hurt, buddy. Oh. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Ah. All right, I guess. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, that feels so good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll treat these as series bios, not individual character sheets, and split them cleanly into two parts. Nasha Part 1, Image Comics. Paper Girls. Paper Girls is a sci-fi coming-of-age series written by Brian K. Vaughan with art by Cliff Chang. Set in the late 1980s, the story follows four newspaper delivery girls, Erin, Mac, KJ, and Tiffany, who stumble into a sprawling conflict involving time travel, alternate futures, and warring factions that exist outside normal history. What begins as a grounded, nostalgic snapshot of adolescence quickly expands into a high-concept science fiction epic. The series explores identity, friendship, trauma, and the loss of innocence as the girls are forced to confront who they might become and who they want to be. Balancing humor, heart, and existential dread, Paper Girls blends Stranger Things style vibes with sharp emotional realism and complex time travel mechanics. At its core, the series is about growing up too fast and realizing that the future is not fixed, no matter how much others try to control it. Part 2, Image Comics, Ice Cream Man. Ice Cream Man is an episodic horror anthology series created by W. Maxwell Prince and Martin Morasso. The comic centers around a mysterious, unsettling ice cream vendor who appears at moments of emotional vulnerability, trauma, or moral collapse. Each issue tells a mostly standalone story, ranging from psychological horror to existential tragedy, often connected only by the Ice Cream Man's quiet, omnipresent influence. Rather than relying on traditional monsters or voodoo, Ice Cream Man focuses on human suffering, grief, loneliness, addiction, regret, and fear. The series experiments heavily with form and structure, including issues told in reverse, single sentences, or unconventional visual layouts, making it one of Image Comics' most formally daring titles. The Ice Cream Man himself functions less as a villain and more as a force, an embodiment of despair, entropy, or cruel inevitability, leaving readers unsettled long after each story ends. Absolutely. Here's a clean, Spawn universe-focused set of bios, keeping close to Image Comics canon while smoothing things where different eras overlap. Spawn. Spawn is the resurrected form of Al Simmons, a former elite government assassin betrayed and killed by his own agency. Making a desperate deal in Hell to see his wife again, Al returns to Earth as a Hellspawn, granted immense supernatural power at the cost of serving Hell's army. Trapped between heaven and hell, Spawn rejects both sides, carving out his own path as a dark, violent protector of the innocent. His story is defined by rage, guilt, lost humanity, and a relentless fight for free will. Christopher Welland. Christopher Welland is a tragic figure whose life becomes entangled with the supernatural horrors surrounding Spawn. Often portrayed as an ordinary man caught in extraordinary terror, Welland represents the collateral damage of the war between heaven, hell, and humanity. His descent highlights the psychological toll of encountering forces beyond comprehension, reinforcing the series' theme that innocence is often the first casualty. Cagliostro. Cagliostro is a mysterious and manipulative immortal who serves as Spawn's mentor, though his guidance is often cryptic and morally ambiguous. Eventually revealed to be Cain, the biblical first murderer, Cagliostro has lived countless lives steeped in sin and regret. His long existence grants him deep knowledge of Hellspawn powers and celestial politics, but his true loyalty is always in question. He embodies temptation, wisdom, and the danger of repeating ancient mistakes. Sam Burke. Sam Burke is a hardened police detective and one of Spawn's earliest human connections. Gruff, cynical, and deeply principled, Sam investigates the violent crimes plaguing New York's underworld, often brushing against the supernatural without fully understanding it. His partnership with Twitch Williams grounds the series in street-level realism, showing how normal people struggle to impose justice in a city drowning in corruption and darkness. Omega Spawn. Omega Spawn is an evolved, near-God version of representing the ultimate potential of necroplasmic power. This form pushes Spawn beyond mortal limitations, blurring the line between man and cosmic force. Omega Spawn symbolizes the terrifying consequence of unchecked power, what happens when rage, destiny, and divine energy converge without restraint. Billy Kincaid. Billy Kincaid is a serial killer whose monstrous crimes against children make him one of Spawn's most loathsome enemies. After death, Kincaid becomes a grotesque demon in hell, yet even there he remains irredeemable. His presence in the series establishes Spawn's moral boundary. Some souls are beyond forgiveness, and cements Spawn's role as an executioner of true evil. Gunslinger Spawn. Gunslinger Spawn is a Hellspawn from the Old West, bound by the same curse as Al Simmons, but shaped by a different era. Armed with supernatural firepower and frontier brutality, he blends demonic power with gunslinger justice. Stoic, ruthless, and driven by vengeance, Gunslinger Spawn embodies the timeless nature of hell's corruption and humanity's recurring cycle of violence. Redeemer. The Redeemer is the answer to Hellspawn, an angelic warrior sent to destroy Spawn at all costs. Wielding holy weaponry and divine authority, the Redeemer is not inherently evil, but is often trapped by rigid doctrine and manipulation from heaven's higher powers. Across multiple incarnations, the Redeemer reflects the dangers of blind faith and the moral hypocrisy of celestial warfare. The Freak. The Freak is a twisted villain who thrives on chaos, cruelty, and grotesque humor. Physically deformed and mentally unstable, he represents the raw insanity festering in the margins of society. Unlike cosmic threats, the Freak is terrifyingly human, unpredictable, sadistic, and driven by a desire to inflict pain purely for amusement. If you want, I can.